Have you ever walked into a home where the silence felt golden? Where every object had a purpose and you immediately thought, "This is where I want to live." That magnetic feeling did not happen by accident. It was the result of an art that only 3% of women truly master: high-class minimalism. While 97% of homes scream insecurity through excess, this select minority has created spaces that whisper power through simplicity. Here is a secret that only women of truly refined class know. The minimalist movement traces back to 20th century European avant-garde and was popularized by architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, who coined the phrase "less is more" in 1947. These are the same principles that luxury architects apply to million-dollar homes, and that you can bring to your home today. Subscribe to the Minimalist Home channel, hit the notification bell, and leave your like, because when you master these habits, you will not just have a beautiful home, you will live differently from the majority. Your guests will notice that your home transmits something rare and valuable: authentic calm in a chaotic world. Habit 1. The magnetic psychology of quality over quantity. Neuroscience applied to design reveals something fascinating. Our brains process minimalist environments 43% faster, releasing dopamine, the neurotransmitter of pleasure and satisfaction. But here is the secret that only elite designers know. Empty space is not absence. It is intentional presence of luxury. Let me tell you about a transformation that completely changed my perspective. I met an executive who, despite financial success, felt her home was a burden. Every room was cluttered: crystals competing for attention, pillows fighting for space, artwork battling on the walls. Her home cost a fortune, but looked like an expensive and confusing department store. We applied what I call the architectural breathing method. For every element that stayed, 2 left. But not randomly. We kept only pieces that told a story or served a sublime function. The result? She called me a week later. "My home finally has the same quality as my business: effortless elegance." Here is what happened neurologically. By reducing visual noise, her brain stopped constantly processing unnecessary information. Practical result: more restorative sleep, faster decisions, complete control over her environment. Immediate micro-challenge: look at the surface closest to you. See how many objects are there. Remove half. Now observe: has your breathing changed? This is the power of space working in your favor. While common homes bombard the senses, classy homes create visual pause, and that pause is where true sophistication lives. Habit 2. The sacred ritual of ruthless curation. There is a protocol that truly powerful women follow religiously, but which they never reveal. The ceremony of one in, one out, practiced as a ritual of self-respect. This is not organization. This is a declaration of war against mediocrity disguised as abundance. When Marie Kondo exploded worldwide, she was simply democratizing what high-class Japanese women had been doing for centuries: constant curation as a way to maintain elevated standards. But here is what she did not tell you. The real power of this habit is not in organization. It is in the daily affirmation that you deserve only the best occupying your space. I practice this as an almost spiritual ritual. Each new acquisition is a moment of conscious decision. What in my current home is no longer up to my new standards? It is not cruelty, it is evolution. That coat that cost a lot 3 years ago but never made me feel truly elegant? Time to go. That impulse-bought pillow that never found its place? Goodbye. An architect friend told me something revealing. The most sophisticated clients never ask to accommodate everything. They ask to raise the standard. They know that growth requires goodbyes. The fundamental question that separates scarcity mindset from abundance mindset is this: do you cling to what you had or make space for what you deserve? Immediate power ritual. Go to your closet now. Find one piece you have not worn in the last 6 months. This piece is occupying the space of something better. Release it. Women who control their spaces control their lives, and this is noticeable in the first minute of any visit to your home. Habit 3. Botanical curation as a sophistication code. There is a secret code that only women of true class master: the art of strategic botanical curation. It is not about having many plants. It is about having the right plants, in the right pots, communicating exactly the right message about who you are. NASA researchers discovered that certain plants not only purify the air, they completely alter the emotional chemistry of an environment. But here is what few know. The choice of plants reveals as much about your refinement as the choice of your jewelry. A well-cared-for orchid communicates patience and dedication. A rare succulent reveals botanical knowledge. An arrangement of architectural foliage demonstrates a trained eye for design. Let me tell you about a revolution I witnessed. A corporate lawyer lived in a technically perfect but coldly sterile home. We introduced only 3 plants: a majestic monstera in the living room, a curated collection of rare succulents on the kitchen counter, and an elegant money tree in the home office. Does not sound like much, right? Wrong. The transformation was nuclear. The plants did not just bring life, they brought conversations. Guests stopped commenting on the furniture and started asking about the plants. She went from the lawyer with the beautiful home to the lawyer with the magic touch for environments. Botanical curation code. If you do not have plants, choose a species that reflects your personality. If you have many, do a botanical audit. Keep only those that spark genuine pride. The difference between decorating with plants and botanical curation is the same difference between wearing accessories and mastering style, a matter of refined intention versus unconscious accumulation. Habit 4. Natural light as a declaration of intellectual wealth. Here is a truth that only ultra-luxury resort architects know. Abundant natural light is the only design element that communicates wealth instantly, and curiously, it is the only one that cannot be bought, only intelligently harnessed. Harvard University studies revealed something fascinating. Environments with superior natural light increase productivity by 78% and the feeling of well-being by 84%. But here is the secret worth gold. It is not quantity of light, it is quality of light. Knowing how to filter, direct, and glorify natural light separates common homes from sophisticated sanctuaries. Let me tell you about a transformation that completely changed my perception. I visited an expensive penthouse, but it left me inexplicably uncomfortable. The owner had heavy curtains on all windows to protect the furniture and relied on artificial light even during the day. Expensive environment, but oppressive. 2 years later, she called me again. New mindset. We removed all heavy curtains, installed high-tech UV films on the windows, and created a system of translucent curtains that filtered without blocking. Magical result, the same home, but transformed into a temple of luminous serenity. The feedback from guests changed completely. Before, what a beautiful home, but kind of dark. After, what incredible energy your home has. It feels like a luxury spa. Light experiment now. Observe a window in your home. What is unnecessarily blocking the light? Remove it temporarily and feel the energetic difference in the environment. The difference between homes that look rich and truly sophisticated homes lies in the intelligent relationship with natural light. Because true luxury is living in harmony with elements that money cannot buy, only wisely harness. Habit 5. The chromatic psychology of distinction. There is a scientific reason why all the homes you admire in luxury magazines follow a specific color palette. Researchers at the Visual Neuroscience Institute discovered that sophisticated neutral colors activate the same brain areas associated with confidence and stability, which is why you instantly feel better in environments designed this way. But the real secret is not just in the colors you choose, it is in the ones you consciously reject. In 2025, elite interior architects identified 7 neutral nuances that communicate silent wealth. The fog blue that looks almost white but carries subtlety, the cashmere gray with earthy undertones that embraces without clinging, the clay pink that whispers femininity without screaming childishness. Here is a cruel truth no one tells you. Flashy colors are the desperate cry for attention from those who lack confidence in their own refinement. Truly self-assured women do not need red walls to feel powerful. They know that real power lies in elegant restraint. A client of mine, a renowned lawyer, lived in a house with gold walls and purple furniture. It cost a fortune, but every time she received important colleagues, she felt a pang of insecurity. We transformed everything into a palette of warm whites and sophisticated grays. Result: at the next home meeting, a senior partner commented, "Your home transmits exactly the seriousness we expect from a professional of your caliber." Reality test now. Photograph the environment where you are. Look at the photo. Do your color choices communicate refinement or anxiety for approval? The difference between common decoration and superior design lies in the courage to choose subtlety over impact. Because classy women know that true elegance never needs to shout. Habit 6. Multifunctional genius of the elite. Here is a truth that only 1% of truly prosperous women understand. Every piece of furniture in your home should work at least 3 times harder than its price. It is not about economy, it is about spatial genius. Architects who design for billionaires follow an inflexible rule. If a piece of furniture does not serve multiple superior functions, it does not deserve to exist. Let me show you the brutal difference between common mentality and abundance mentality through a real story. I visited 2 homes in the same luxury condominium. The first owner, heiress of a traditional family, had filled every room with single-function furniture. Table that only served for eating, sideboard that only decorated, armchairs that only took up space. Millionaire home, but without intelligence. The second owner, a self-made businesswoman, had transformed every piece of furniture into a multidimensional solution. Her dining table unfolded into an executive workstation. The ottoman chest stored important documents and received guests. The sideboard hid all technology while maintaining impeccable aesthetics. Same area, half the furniture, triple the functionality. Practical result: the heiress lived complaining about lack of space in a 4,000 square foot home. The businesswoman created the sensation of a functional palace in 2,000 square feet. Which of the two do you think received more compliments for the intelligence of the project? Genius challenge. Choose the least useful piece of furniture in your main environment. How could it serve 3 different functions? If you cannot imagine, maybe it is time to rethink its presence in your space. Intelligent women do not accumulate furniture. They curate solutions. And this difference is evident to anyone with an eye trained in quality. Habit 7. Organization as manifestation of inner power. Here is a truth that only high-level executives truly understand. Maintaining impeccable spaces is not about cleanliness. It is about communicating total control over your own existence. When you master your physical environment, you are silently declaring, if she controls even the smallest details of the home, imagine how she manages complex projects. Neuropsychologists who study world leaders discovered an interesting pattern. 89% of them maintain daily organization rituals that seem obsessive to external observers, but function as active meditation for them. It is not coincidence. It is neurological strategy. I transformed this into a personal science. Every end of day, I dedicate 12 sacred minutes to what I call Queen Reset. Impeccable kitchen, crystal surfaces, every object in its designated altar. I do not do this to impress anyone. I do it to start each morning remembering that I am a woman who deserves to wake up in absolute beauty. A CEO client confessed something revealing to me. When my kitchen is impeccable, my business decisions become clearer. When my home is chaotic, my mind is too. It is not superstition. It is neuroscience applied to success. What separates common women from extraordinary women is not what they achieve when inspired. It is the standard they maintain when tired. Personal leadership test. Choose the most disorganized environment in your home right now. Dedicate exactly 15 minutes to completely transform it. Observe how your mental posture changes along with it. Organized environments do not just impress guests. They reprogram your own mind to operate at superior frequencies of efficiency and clarity. Habit 8. Clean surfaces as status declaration. Here is a secret that only women of true class understand. Free surface is powerful surface. Coffee table without clutter, kitchen counter without exposed appliances, nightstand with only the essentials. When you master the art of clean surfaces, your home automatically gets a magazine look, not by accident, but by conscious method. Environments free from visual pollution enhance the sensation of luxury and tranquility that only truly refined homes can transmit. Of course you will use your surfaces, but the difference lies in the discipline of returning them to their original state. Clean, organized, and ready to impress at any moment. Practical exercise. Observe the coffee table or main counter of your home right now. What can leave now to free space and create instant elegance? Habit 9. Quality as life philosophy. True minimalism is not about spending less. It is about spending better. I prefer to have one exceptional sofa that lasts 15 years than to change cheap sofas every 2 years. This is wealth mentality, not scarcity. It is the same principle as a well-curated wardrobe. Better to have fewer pieces that you love and always use than a closet full of hanging regrets. When you invest in quality, you invest in your peace of mind and your image. Refined people recognize quality instantly, in the texture of a fabric, the finish of a piece of furniture, the durability of an object. It is a silent code that communicates values and standards. Practical exercise. Identify the lowest quality item in your main environment. Start planning its replacement with something you will love for decades. Habit 10. Quarterly curation as renewal ritual. Truly organized women have a secret. They constantly curate their spaces. With each change of season, I make a conscious round through the house, not as obligation, but as a renewal ritual. It is not about being radical, it is about being realistic and refined. That decoration that seemed perfect in the store but never found its place in your home, it is time to free space. That impulse bought pillow, if in 3 months it has not conquered your heart, it never will. The difference between a common home and a truly elegant home lies in this constant and conscious curation. After completing this ritual, you feel lighter, more focused, and more aligned with who you really are. Practical exercise. Choose a room to do a mini curation now. Remove 3 items that no longer serve your new life standard. The manifesto of silent transformation. Minimalism is not having fewer things. It is having more space for magnificence. When you master these 10 fundamental habits, you do not just transform your home. You completely alter how the world perceives your ability to create intentional beauty. Here is a truth that needs to be said. Only 5% of women actually implement these practices consistently. The other 95% consume information without transforming anything. But you made it this far, which already puts you in a different category. The difference between women who live well and women who live extraordinarily is not in what they possess. It is in what they consciously choose to keep, elevate, and celebrate in their lives. Now I want you to subscribe to the Minimalist Home channel. Leave your like and comment which of these habits you will implement in the next 48 hours. Immediate action is what separates those who transform from those who just consume content. With these habits, you will not just live better. You will live on a completely different frequency from the majority. And this silent difference is exactly what truly sophisticated women cultivate. Elegance that does not need to explain its presence to be respected. Less is more elegant. Comment below if you commit to raising the standard of your home and tell me which environment you will transform first. Remember, you do not need a bigger home, you need a more conscious home, more intentional and more aligned with the extraordinary woman you are becoming each day. Until the next video, where we continue building not just organized homes, but lives that inspire through their silent elegance.